Hello and welcome to something a little different as I try and figure out how I'm going to integrate doing Twitch into my schedule so I can do that and do the YouTube thing. Probably going to have most of Ruin Arc on Twitch from now on because that's a lot more fun interacting with people, I've figured out. But I saw this, or actually my wife recommended this to me, and I was very intrigued by it. So I figured we could check it out together. This is the demo for the game Crying Suns. Free to download if you want to go check it out on Steam, excuse me, not on Twitch. And I have no idea what's going on. But I'm really interested. I guess that's me. And that's my boss, maybe? Where am I? The door planet on the outer rim. They call it Gehenna. They call it anything at all. This Admiral is a top-secret cloning facility for the Imperial Forces, the one and only of its kind. I am Caliban, its Omni-Guardian. I don't understand. You have died, Admiral, or to put it another way, the true version of you has died. You are his clone, identical to the original Eli's Idaho in every possible way, with some minor differences. When did they die? How? Fortunately, I do not know the details of my clones' lives, as interesting as they must be. Extraneous to my directives, I believe. Which leads me to why I've awoken you. You must be curious, after all. I need your help. Machine asking for my help. Now I feel truly strange. Not just a machine, Admiral, an Omni, short for Omni-Mechanical Neo-N Intelligence. Emperor Oberon invented us. Now your kind relies on us for just about everything. So much lore. Ugh. I'll come right out with it. I believe the Empire is in danger. Not that I'm against lore, but like, I think I prefer to jump in and... No, I'm going to sound like one of those people, but I prefer the Dark Souls method of storytelling, environmental instead of exposition dumps. But anyway, in danger. What in the name of Oberon are you talking about? Once every 4 years, under the most secretive of protocols, I receive a single transmission from Elysium, our capital. It's really dropping all of those names, aren't they? Those transmissions stopped arriving. You send a transmission yourself. I don't see the problem. That's just it. I can't. This facility was built in such a way to prevent it from initializing contact with the Empire to help keep it a secret. Something is wrong, I am certain of it, and I've awoken you so that we can fly out of here in an Omega-class battleship, no less, and see for ourselves. We? I believe you'll find my intelligence indispensable for our mission, Admiral. I don't have your kind's limitations. If you're so smart, why do you need me, and why don't you command the battleship? It's Oberon's Rubicon. For him, it's only for commanding battleships, or the human prerogative. Also, since I can assume the clones here are the best of the best, that would make you the best Imperial Admiral to ever exist. I'd say you're perfect for the job. I'll do it for the Oberon Empire and my duty as an Imperial Admiral. Excellent. Now, one more thing. Standard operating procedure requires I ask. Can you recall any of your emotional memories? Emotional? What's that mean? Any memory linked to a strong emotion like love or hate. These memories, because of their complex neural pathways, will be a bit trickier for you to access, I'm afraid. I'm not sure. Then if you would do me the honor of trying to recall one, any emotional memory will do. I can't. So much is blurred, broken apart. Don't worry, perfectly normal for this stage. You'll find rational memories, on the other hand, those linked to Idaho's training and combat experience almost immediately accessible. Just ask if you need a refresher. Lastly, and this is important, if these emotional memories return, rather when they return, you must tell me immediately. It's important for your safety. Well, yes, your safety, do you understand? That's a little bit, worrisome. I'll say that. Let's wake up the rest, shall we? Maybe don't have a moment to waste. And please! What is it now? Call me Caliban. Now, that was a lot of information being dumped, but you know what? Fine. Ooh. Okay, complete chapters. I guess that's fine, we just go through this. This will be one of those procedural ones. Procedural unlock things, kind of like in Hades, which I also am a big fan of. Do I even have upgrade levels? Auxiliaries, Wanderings, Floors. Man, I am a little bit in over my head. You have 2 officers left to select. I click here. Oh, this is just telling me what the stats are. I can't really interact with this, can I? I don't know what patched means for this Mark 1 drone. Maybe that it's broken at the moment. It's 1 laser. Let's choose our officers. Select officer clones. Famous. Sold at 3. Wait, I don't want to sell him, do I? Let's go for, like, DPS, I suppose. It's got some skills. I don't know what they are. Emergency repair. Health regen's pretty good in a general sense. And reload times, pretty good. As long as we don't have a select amount of ammo, we should be fine. And then we'll just pick these and start, I suppose. Sector 1-3. Oh, I like the aesthetic. These are the sectors of the Outer Rim, Admiral. The farthest sectors in the capital that there are. If there was a wasteland of the Empire, this would be it. But we're not picking up other omnis. Even out here, I should be picking up dozens. Let's try not to overreact. It's probably nothing. He called it a machine instead of Caliban. Emperor has run flawlessly for many years now. 700. I will do so for hundreds more now. Come on, let's take a look around. Okay, I guess I click through here. Do I need to use the entrance? Or do I start there? I'm going to start there. Let's see. Point of interest, ground signal. Okay. Oh, I guess I just have to move there, don't I? That's fine. Very appealing. Ah, the cube. What is this, Lieutenant? It appears to be some kind of cube-like refinery, sir. It's a Neo-In hypercube Omnitech for simultaneous harvest and refining of neutrinium from nearby stars. It's like every sci-fi buzzword I know. It's being slowly rolled out in a conveyor belt. Interesting, if not downright bizarre. This cube isn't connected to the fold net. What could that be? Why aren't there hypercubes Omni trying to reconnect them into a speed? Actual explanations, your memory is still blurry, or just immediately send people to investigate it. I'll ask. Certain things are still blurry to me, machine. What do you want to know, Admiral? What's the Neo-In? Hundreds of years ago, pre-Omni, the first advanced machine discovered the existence of the final element, neutrinium, which exists usually, but not always, in stars. Neutrinium is extremely volatile in its natural state, but these advanced machines stabilized and improved upon it, providing the most powerful, longest-lasting energy source yet, neo-neutrinium, or Neo-In. This will in turn allow these research machines to create an even more advanced machine, the Omni, an acronym for Omni Mechanical Neo-In Intelligence, which we've reviewed already. I thought Oberon invented it. I did, you're right, but technically it's not entirely true. Oberon invented the first advanced machines, which in turn, thanks to their creation of Neo-In, invented the Omnis. Second generation. In its refined state, it's the perfect energy source, stable and almost boundless in its energy shield. As a result, it's used near just about all Omni-Tech as humans stopped inventing tech hundreds of years ago. Aye, this is turning out to be really dark to me. What's important is that our very own battleship, the NS Odysseus, uses it, and without it we can't go anywhere. What do you want to know? Tell me about the fold net. As you probably recall by now, Admiral, the Omnis have invented and managed Imperial tech more or less since the dawn of the Empire. The fold net, arguably our greatest achievement, forms the backbone of the Empire. Is this the Internet? Global Galactic Network, allow instant data and matter transmission. And, ooh, okay, the matter transmission is amazing. There's numerous interconnected folders and beacons, and without the constant vigilance and management of fold net Omnis, none of it would be possible, and humanity would live in a fragmented, chaotic darkness. Warhammer 40k. Needless to say, it's important. What do you want to know? That's it. Ah, oh, crap. Never mind. What are folders? I imagine it's exactly what I think it is. So explain this in a way that we can possibly understand. What a dick. In the early days of the Empire, at a speed of 100 times the speed of light, the interstice offered the fastest space travel available. It was fast and rum, but traveling from cluster to cluster could still take decades. To assist, and just because we could, we invented a machine, or a means to travel from 2 points in space instantaneously. The folders. Each folder, several kilometers lost, is linked or paired with another folder. The presence of this, or process of this, is going to be really difficult to find to a non-quantum computing entity. It's like the mass relays from Mass Effect. I got it. But anyways, pairs folders collapse or fold face in a very brief amount of time to join 2 points of space previously unjoined. Not the folders, Oberon could have never grown to this empire, nor kept it together for 700 years that he had. Singular guy? Each folder is run by an Omni. They're cleverly known as folder Omnis, and without them the folder simply cannot work. Lastly, in order to reach Elysium, the Empire's capital, and rejoining will have to use several folders. Why can't we just teleport there directly? Probably not linked, because we're in the Outer Rim. Yeah, that's what I thought. What do you want to know? Tell me about beacons. God, okay. FoldNet beacons, which we'll most likely encounter on our journey, function as repeaters, amplifying all FoldNet data transmission throughout the clusters. Beacons allow all Empire citizens, even if they live out here on the Outer Rim and are, for all intents and purposes, socially and culturally irrelevant, to receive and send information to the galaxy instantly. Everyone has the right to instantaneous information and materials. Quite debatable, if you ask me. Okay, easy, and the interstice. This should be the end of it, right? Another omni-invented tech, one of the great inventions, one developed long before the folders. With their interstellar tech, they created an empty space or dimension between the ones you know that we call a tunnel, where the universal light speed behaves differently. It's an interstitial tunnel. That's new, at least. It's possible to reach up to 100 times the speed of light, the speed that allowed your kind to colonize their nearest stars. However, it still has its limitations. For example, at this speed, it would take you 750 years to travel from one end of the Empire to the other. Period of time greater than the age of the Empire itself, hence the need for folders. However, the interstice is sufficient when traveling intra-cluster and within that cluster sectors. That's good. Let's go do things. Small team to investigate the cube. Form a squadron, fly around, tell me what you see. On it. Oh, man. I don't dislike the lore, but jeez. I like to play the game. Andy is right, the cube isn't connected to the full net, but the look of it hasn't been connected in years. Just a guess here, but I'd say it looks like it's been disconnected for maybe 10, 15 years. 10 to 15, at least, sir. Could the Empire have, I don't know, disconnected it on purpose? Ooh. I don't think so. I'm not a cube omni myself, but cubes are complex tech needing constant supervision. Disconnecting would make all that almost impossible. And Neo N levels? Empty. No Neo N whatsoever. Looks like whoever came before us took it all. We won't be fueling here. Reserves might be empty, but there could still be some residual Neo-In coursing through it. I should be able to unlock the final restraints so that we can scavenge leftovers. Won't be much, but it will help our efforts. So he just kind of twiddled his thumbs and made it work. I should be able to scavenge it here, but that'll be the last of it in this cube. All suns have a Neo-In here where you have a chance to scavenge some precious leftover fuel. Okay. Is that it? Must be. Officer. Let's go with you there. Squadron. You there. Weapons. We don't have any more officers for weapons. Fighter Mark 1. I'm just equipping stuff. I'm assuming it's going to be fine. Equip, equip, equip. I suppose we should go and do this. I think we're here. Maybe we can go check out whatever the hell that is. Ooh. 12 o'clock battleship. What kind of battleship? Couldn't say. I've never seen a ship like it in all my years. Incoming transmission. Imperial battleship made from Telos Tech. My mouth is watering from grub. This is Admiral Idaho. Stand down. This is the Imperial sector you find yourself in. That's funny, imp. Battle's imminent. Good luck, Admiral. Alright, I have no idea how to control or what to do. Ooh. You can deploy your officers during fights. Some officers have special abilities that can boost specific systems. All officers can also repair or critical effects when sustained by any system. 3 systems: squadron, weapon, and hull. Be careful where you deploy your officers. Squadrons are essential to protect your battleship and destroy the enemy. Display your squadron. Click on the plus sign on an empty dock. Now your second out will be locked to you and learn the basics. That's fine. Decisive weapon stuff. Empty dock. Neo. Okay, accelerate your thoughts to a point where time appears totally still. Press space to exit or enter pause. Yeah, I like stuff like that. So, squadron. We've already got the squadron thing picked up. Alright, resume. Okay, so this kind of plays out on its own without us doing a whole lot. We can kind of interact like that, and that's fine. Okay, so now we go and try and take down his weapons, I suppose? Does that only apply to that? Ah, crap, hold on. Choose a target in the battlefield and deal damage to your enemies. Okay, so do I click the weapon itself? Nice. That will do it like that. Nice. So if we take out their enemy weapon system, we should stand a pretty significant, or gain a pretty significant advantage. I put him on the wrong thing. Oh. Okay. This has me interested at least. What was that thing? I don't know, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I want to either. Well, that was interesting. So this only applies down here to the weapon systems, if I'm picking that up correctly. And this guy applies to the hull. So these are in the right spots, at least. I'll have to get another officer to stick here. Oh, it's pulling me in. I like that, though. It's totally pulling me in. Massive bonus versus drones. Okay, what else can we put in there? Versus frigates versus fighters. We'll do our frigates there instead. That'll be fine. Oh, this is really pulling me in. I'm having fun! Alright, local system map. I'm assuming it's going to tell us the next spot to go to. Can't do that. Can't do this. So, do we just go back to the cube? Oh no, this is something else entirely. It's railroading us a bit, but it's awesome. The outpost, sir, seems abandoned. Any heat signatures? Not a single one seems empty of all human life. What about an omnipresence? They should be here managing the station, no? They should, and no, I'm not detecting any. This is getting stranger and stranger. Oh! Fine. Ask him about this outpost. What do you can tell me about this outpost? It seems to be just your run-of-the-mill Imperial outpost, Admiral. There are outposts in all Imperial sectors. With the capital Elysium so far away, they help keep peace and maintain order. You must show your military might so you don't have to use it, I believe is the thinking. But there's definitely no military might here. Try to make contact with it before we do anything else. Obviously. See if you can make contact with anyone inside. Sorry, sir, there's no one inside. They're not answering. I didn't think so. Well, let's go into the commandos to the outpost. Captain, Lean, form a small team and check it out. Alright, Captain Lean. That's empty. It seems it was abandoned years ago. If I had to guess, probably around the time the hypercube back there was disconnected from the fold net. Looks like someone came here, took the most valuable Omni parts, neo encapsulators, positronic chips, and left the rest behind. Scavenging parts. Who would do such things? It's a capital offense. One of the Pragma execute for. One of the Prague? Is it Prague or Prague? Pragma. I'll say Pragma. Read execute for. Getting a transmission, my commandos have found something. It's an Omni intact from top to bottom. Is it functional? That's a negative. It was in a lower level. I guess whoever was here before us didn't go down that far. Might have needed high clearance to get in. I can examine it from here if the captain plugs the data pad into the exosoc. Sure thing, Omni. Okay, accessing the Omni's mainframe. And its exoframe is perfectly intact. It has plenty of neo in, and its positronic chip seems to be in place. It should be run up and running, and it's not. So I'm gonna get shut down. 20 years ago. Starting the time the hypercube was unloaded from the fold net. What do you want to do about the outpost? More explanations. It's actually pulling me in. Can you reactivate it? Unfortunately, no. Only Omni owners can do that. Besides, this Omni isn't in sleep mode. It's been shut down. What's this deal with this chip? You're kind of it. This, as incredible as it is. Specifically, Emperor Oberon. The positronic chip serves several purposes. One that contains the Rubicon. Another one dictates Omni functionality. My function is specific to Gehenna, and as such, are different from the functions of other Omnis, whether they be Imperial Outpost Omnis, like the Omni here, Folder Omnis, Cube Omnis, Medical Omnis, Teachers, or hundreds of other kinds that exist in the Empire. Lastly, the chip gives quantum computing capabilities that allows us to be so much smarter than you. Positronic chips are produced and distributed near Elysium. Of course, that's by design, so that Oberon can closely monitor the quota. Simply put, without the chip, an Omni is little more than its exoframe. Okay. What's with this quota? As to maintain perpetual harmony, create a quota depending on your house and whether it's minor or major. You receive a certain number of chips every 10 years. Who received the most? House Telos, Oberon's house, our house. And the fewest would be the minor houses. For Kelly, they have a predictable quota. Embarrassing, really. I would hate to be for Kelly on me. Lord. Alright, what's a Rubicon? We've seen it mentioned before, right? Set of rules enforced at a very low level, assuming that Omnis don't harm humans and don't deviate from their missions. Suppose an Omni disobeyed it, what would happen to them? Well, that is quite rare, but unfortunately there were examples of this occurring in the early days, but if that happens, then the chip would deactivate and trigger a self-termination feature in the Omni. Suicide. It's just a feature, Admiral. A rarely activated feature. And then there's the Neo in itself, the fake neutronium. It appears to be so strong. Filament. Are we like going over this again? Okay, yeah, we've already done this before. So we just click through that. Just in case we missed it for now. I guess we just move on. Could be time to take a break. Nah. Let's, that's just the same questions, right? Yeah, that's fine. Let's move on from this. I'll admit, something is wrong, at least in the Outer Realm. I don't want to further worry you, but our battleships near heuristics? What are heuristics? Are detecting an anomaly at our next destination. How fun. I'm really starting to get into this, though. Another one of these. Anomaly signal. And those creatures again, sir. Maybe this one will be friendly? That ship you got there, I'm going to enjoy scrapping it over your dead bodies. You're going down, whatever you are. I think I like the dialogue. Frigates, drones, fighters, best suited to fight against a particular squadron, imparting massive damage bonus. Be sure to find the unit's strengths and weaknesses before deploying it. So, these are fighters, right? So, what's best versus fighters? Frigates. So, ours win against him. He has no weapons, and his hull seems to be kind of gross. So, I think we're fine. Just like this setup, right? Auxiliaries, I don't got anything to that. Core system. I'm getting super into the systems that's going on here. You boys go get to work on these fighters. Alright. Massive damage bonus, right? That works. Go get to work on their squadron system. Weapon, fire. It's a lot of damage to the hull, specifically to the squadrons. I don't know what that's about. Are they repairing it? Well, if they were, it didn't really mean a whole lot. Rewards, fighter, and we already had those. Mark 1s, I should say. Another brush with death. At least our scanner detected the anomaly this time. Tell me about these anomalies, machine. Destinations with higher than normal probability being very negative or very positive. Fortunately, we won't know until we arrive there. It could be, say, investigating is a bit of a gamble. We do that every time. Come on, there's got to be someone around here who can tell us what's going on. So, do we just click it? I guess that was the ships itself, where it's like the anomaly, right? That's fine. Let's go. There would be a small colony on the planet. We can finally get some answers. It's also detecting a ground signal roughly 1,000 kilometers from the colony. It would be worth investigating with an expedition. Is anyone there? This is Admiral Idaho. I am Bowie, leader of my small colony. What can we do? If it's scrap you're looking for, sir, we have none to spare. We're to find out what's going on in these sectors. I don't understand. Yet to encounter a single active Omni and 2 enemy battleships have engaged us. Is this some sort of sick joke, Admiral? The Omni's shut down. Impossible. Omni shut down in our sector, and when they did, so did all of our tech. Can't be run without them. How and when? I have no idea how it happened. I'm not sure even Oberon does. It's truly the great mystery of our time. As for when, 20 years ago, we relied on them for everything. Yep. It's hard to give accurate numbers. Maybe 75% of the population here died in the first 5 years alone. Well, who knows how many of us are left? 10%? Less? What's... Tell me more about scrap. Probably functioning Omni stuff. Imperial Soul, form your currency, no longer hold value of any sort. Only thing that does is scrap, remnants of tech, and Neo-N are energy sources. Omni tech becomes scarcer and scarcer, which it has over the last 20 years, as value is appreciated, causing people to act in increasingly desperate and violent ways to get it. Why scrappers want to destroy your ships so much? It's so they can collect the broken down parts and sell them just so they can prolong their miserable lives. And it's not just the scrappers and the pirates who desire the stuff, it's just that most of us common folk aren't willing to kill for it, at least not yet. There's something else you want to know, Admiral. How can I help? Defeating the scrappers would be a nice start. Things are looking a lot better with those coming out of the way. Scrappers. Don't tell me you don't know about them either. It's like you've been living this entire time on an uninhabited planet on the edge of the Outer Rim. Gee. are a group of hideous irradiated scavengers who collect leftover Omni-Tech and Neo-N, and when the Omnis shut down, causing the full net collapse in our sectors, they were the ones who took over in the chaos. They're not the only rotten apples around here with your pirates and your occasional crazy civilian, but they're definitely the worst. They defeated the Imperial ships? How? Tilo's tech is second to none. Imperial captains are trained at the Academy. True, with the scrapper battleships wore them down. Picked one off here, another there. It was just a war of attrition. Yeah. It was like instead of reinforcements without the fold net, with the folder down. I hate to say it, but I think it's just a matter of time before they make slaves of us all. Even if you beat them, even if you can't beat Mother, it won't change anything. 10, 15 years from now, all the hardships we're experiencing will be gone, all of us, unless you somehow reactivate the Omnis, turn them back on again, the ones that haven't been scavenged for parts, that is. That's the only way to save us. Anything else? How can I turn them boys on? You're asking the wrong guy, I'm afraid. I said no one knows who or what shut them down. You have to solve that mystery on your own. Once you do, you'll still have to find a way to turn them back on, which might be another thing altogether. Where should we start? I hate to say it, but Mother's probably your best bet. I mean, she benefited the most in shutting down this cluster, didn't she? But again, there are a lot of theories about who or what is responsible for it. Is there something else you want to know, Admiral? Just keep chucking theories at me, man. What theories have you heard about it? Heard a few, even in the times of starvation, people like to gossip. Most popular one is that the Omnivirus, which somehow the Omnis kind of got, machine virus, quickly spread and ultimately shut them down. But that theory doesn't hold water for me. It doesn't explain how or why they all shut down at the same time, which you know they seemingly did around here. One moment they were working, doing what they've always done, making our lives easier, and then the next, they weren't. I don't know of any virus that can do that. Theories are, you've got your less credible ones, such as mass suicide theory. States that they upset over the role in the Empire, somehow found a way to shut themselves down, to kill themselves because they no longer wanted to live. Then you got your Omni-Rapture theory, the Omnis left this realm to go to a heavenly realm. This theory is popular among certain fringe religious groups. Whack jobs, if you ask me. And last but not least, you've got your alien shutdown theory, which is that hostile aliens from another galaxy or dimension shut down all of our Omnis so they could easily conquer us. The problem with that theory is that as far as I know, the hostile aliens never showed up. And what do you think? I think we should never have become so dependent on things in the first place. That's what I think. Monopolies are bad, people. Always remember that. Is there anything else you want to know, Admiral? Tell me about the Mutta. You really don't want to know, Admiral. For some reason, that's what they call her, their leader. Mother, Mom, Mommy. It's all very upsetting. Together, she was one who started the Scrappers, fostering a punk nihilistic scavenging philosophy among their sword ranks. Former Imperial prisoners, I think, make up her ranks, worse the worse. When the Omni shut down, the prisoners escaped from their Omni-run prisons and psychiatric stations. Mother loves her tech, especially House Tilo's tech, like the battleship you have, and she and the boils who work for her will kill you for it and enjoy doing it too. She's been terrorizing the sector for years now, enslaving men and women to bolster her numbers and make them into her playthings and baby makers, as she calls them. Well, that is particularly horrifying. Let's see. I guess I should inquire about that. You don't want to know who they are, but since you asked, the playthings are Mother's slaves, sex slaves, and baby makers already know what she uses to make babies. It's kind of a more mature game than I was getting into. Scrappers often die young from their exposure to Neo-N, as they should. Thank Oberon for that. Mother uses her baby makers to keep the Scrapper numbers growing. She supposedly has breeding stations spread throughout these sectors. I can't imagine a worse place. Wow, this is not the tone I expected from this type of game. We'll do everything we can to stop these monsters, you have my word. Did she shut down the Omnis? Is that the theory? I couldn't say, but if she didn't do it, I wager some serious scrap she knows who did. But I don't recommend asking her, Admiral. I don't recommend getting anywhere near her for that matter. Frankly, Mother terrifies me. Yeah, I get it. What about the Scrappers who control this sector? Tell me more about them. Each sector is controlled by one of Mother's cronies. You'll recognize them by their freakish mutations, brought on by their exposure to too much Neo-N. I sincerely hope you don't see them, because if you do, well, usually you don't live to tell about it. Not the bravest thing to do. I'll say it again, hide. Make yourself inconspicuous, Admiral, and if you're lucky, you'll live another 10 or 15 years. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't blame you, it's not exactly for the faint of heart. Is there anything that you want to know? Yeah, it's in the conversation. We got what we needed. The naval Oberon will take care of these Scrappers and get your Omnis up and running again. You say that, but you'll fail, you'll stop trying sooner or later, or worse yet, you'll die. Take this Neo-N, Admiral. We have plenty at the moment. I have a feeling you'll need it. Oh, what a nice boy! I know it's not the bravest thing to do, but it's best for you to hide. You live longer that way. for, huh? Do we need that much? Into transmission. Do you believe what he said, Admiral? Unfortunately, yes. It explains everything we've seen so far. They only shut down this outer room, and so did their tech, including this cluster's folder, and that's why those scrappers now run things here. So what do we do, sir? First thing we need to do is find this mother. As Bowie said, if she didn't shut the Omnis down, chances are she knows who or what did. And if you want to move on, Admiral, open the star map below by clicking it and choose our next system. Otherwise, you might want to say and check out this ground circle I was telling you about. Could be a good opportunity to gather some resources, put your commandos to use. Well, that was a lot to digest. Hold on, you learned the basics. The second doc's been unlocked. Remember to get used to it while commanding your squadrons. Numerical advantage is often the turning point. Yeah, what is this? What's the saying? Quantity is a quality all of its own. You can access the expedition board here, over here. Minimum 3 commandos. But anyway, I think we're actually going to put the brakes on this one because I am getting really invested into it, but I'm also exhausted after talking about story, like openly for about, hell, what has it been, like 30 straight minutes almost? Anyway, I'm super interested in this. If anyone else is interested as well, give me the heads up because I'm thinking about just going ahead and skipping the demo and getting straight into the game, trying that out because that sounds incredible. That's going to be all for today. Thank you for dropping by and checking out the channel. If you came from Ruin Arc, go ahead and check out my Twitch. I'm doing some more. I'm going to be doing most of my Ruin Arc on Twitch from now on, I think. That's the tentative plan. It kind of depends on how things turn out, you know. You gotta go with the flow of what's going on. And it may pop back up on the channel. That'd be something I'd make it a lot easier if it had multiple save files. I'll pitch that at the developer sometimes, I guess. That's gonna be it. Thank you for dropping by. Take care, and I'll see you next time.